3 tiers, 2 races, 1 super fast qualifying session. Me, myself, and Retro goes to here to take you along the way. Good evening, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. So just a little bit of pre-banter before the race start. Obviously, just hopefully you're not going to crash out on me like some of the drivers might do tonight. But obviously, hopefully you can keep your concentration as much as they can around Imola tonight.
The
tricky circuit.
Absolutely. Yeah, so they're pounding the jar straight away. For those of you who have not yet tuned into FRL, there's a little woofafa bingo going on, I've been told. I'm quite prone to saying the word absolutely. So feel free to join in, take a shot, put a pound in the jar. Whatever floats your boat, we're here for the banter. Let us know what you rack up during the stream. So yeah, we are around Imola this evening, continuing on with the championship of this Super Sprint Sunday. The format, if you're not familiar, is a 20-minute qualifying session, followed by a 20-minute race, followed by a 40-minute sprint. Neither sprint requires you to pit or change tyres, so they're free to go from start to finish as fast as they can. Thank you for those already jumping into the comments. We're just sitting in free practice roundabout now. We've got left Retro a little bit less time than usual to run through the standings, but I'm sure he's going to give it a go anyway.
I mean, it was my own fault due to commentators having rights, having to take a tactical toilet break, obviously bring you all the action so we don't miss anything. But guys, all the boxes on the left hand side, the white boxes, Jay Clayton, De Moya, Jay Bonham, just to mention a few, are the pro tier. So they are the white boxes, and as mentioned, Bonham is currently leading the pro tier with 129 points. Adam Sharp in P2 with 112 points. Morgan Grace P3 with 112 points. So actually they're tied together. So tied top 2 at the minute. Josh Clayton P4, technically net P3, is 83 points. Paul Moller, unfortunately no shows for a couple of races, 82 points. Gordon Brown P6 with 79 points. Kravek P7, 76. Luke Prentice 75 points. Andrew Eden P9, 67 points. Gareth Harvey P10, 64 points. Francesco Filomeno P11, 48 points. Jack Prentice P12, 46 points. Tadas Leica P13, 26 points. And Carlos De Moya down in P14. It's a recent full-time driver taking a full-time seat now, so we wish him all the best as he is currently P2 in the free practice. So guys, that is the pro tier, the white boxes on the left hand side, and now the silver tier. As you could probably guess, the slightly grey or darker boxes on the left hand side. You've got Michael Mornix in P4, Samuel Grafe in P8, currently to mention a few, Van der Wall, Jay Sargent, Wouter Heymans as well. As I say, Samuel Grafe is leading the Silver Championship. He has now overtaken Naisbitt after that absolutely impressive race win last week round Indianapolis. He's on 123 points, but Naisbitt is only 3 points behind him in P2. Michael Mornix is P3, 117 points. Lee Colpitts P4, 104 points. Luke Richards P5, 101 points. Michael van der Wal P6, 77. Chris Gedman P7, 75. Alexander Kalugin P8, 70 points. Antonis Korkamalakis P9, 67. Carlos Jackal P10, 56 points. Thomas Fitterer P11, 43 points. Maximilian Mornweg P12, 31 points. Wouter Heymans down in P13 with 18 points. So guys, that is the silver tier. Obviously, as the qualifying has started, I will try to read the AM tier as quick as my voice box will allow me so. So Sofino Gibino is leading the AM tier with 127 points. Reinhard Serfontaine P2, so he has been overtaken by Gibino with 118 points. Dazza Townsend P3, 114 points. Jamie Thacker P4, 72 points. Michael Coppins P5, 58 points. Johnny Sharp P6, 34 points. Paul Trotman P7 with 31 points. Francisco Rodriguez P8, 28 points. Brooklyn Llewellyn P9, 26 points. That is the AM tier. So back to you, buddy, to catch the opening lap of this qualifying session.
Fantastic. So first one coming around is car 717, and that is Wouter Heymans. sporting a tactical green and brown. It's almost like he's done himself up for battling the army this week. It's almost like a darkened Italian flag draped over his very Italian car. And he's just coming round, Ravazza 2, and he's going to power down the pit straight, miss what used to be a chicane, and there is a kink on the straight, which is turn 1, which is just right here, and you'll then pick up the corners from there on in. So the first main braking zone is turn 2. You want to drift right, nice wide open to the right. You want to kiss, but not ride the sausage curbs on the inside. But yeah, he's a bit unsettled there. Wonder if that will gain him or lose him. Too much on this lap. Keep it on the right hand side and throw your car in. Carry as much speed in. Brake in straight line and then flick it over to the right. But he's caught a bit of gravel there. Potentially still valid on this lap. He's got another Ferrari behind him that's flashing him. That is... I'll pick out a number on him. So he's left behind that. So now the car, the track will let you swing to the left and back to the right. Down a couple of gears and coast around here. Pick up the throttle on the outside. And then down into Acqua Minerale. A few different driver setups will allow flat entry. Some need a lift, some need a little brake. But then brake hard before you head up the hill. Don't over-rotate the car. Very easily done with the camber of the corner. Now drift slowly over to the left. Try and straight line this chicane as much as possible. You can just about afford to bound the curb, but that has unsettled him for the second part of the chicane. And now flat down the hill. Braking point becomes visible just as you come under the bridge. And straight line it all the way to the right hand side. Let the car drift out as far as possible, and then try and get on the power as soon as you can. Out of Ravazza 2, power to the line, and we're going to start this session off with a time of... Called a bit early, didn't I?
You did.
With a time of... Oh, invalid.
Invalidation.
But Richings
behind him, but then jumped by Grafe in the GTR.
We've got Clayton just coming up, and then jumped again with a 141. Next car coming around on a lap is car number 14. Who we find... Oh, that is M. Grace. Coming through Ravazza 1. I think this is going to be a particularly good track for the Porsche here. Porsche I've always backed for being probably the best car in terms of traction on this game.
So speaking of, Leica does jump to P1 there with a 141.1.
And M. Grace, respectable time. Just 9/10 down from pole. Car number 34. That is Sharp. That's 37, so not 34. Save across line was Bonham, my apologies, so half a second down from pole. Got car number 19 approaching the line. That's Giobbino in the Lamborghini. I think it's only really myself and Giobbino that actually use the Lamborghini in this league.
Terrible car. I mean, lovely car.
It's a lovely car. Got a fantastic nose on it. Now picks up Heyman's once again. Actually finally looking to put a valid lap in. Does have a lot of free air in front of him. Can he utilise it, or is he going to continually get distracted by the cars coming up on his rear? As he come towards the line now. Where will this put Heyman's? Doesn't move up too far. He's 2.5 seconds down from the front of the grid. But that'll just be a sign for that.
3 thousandths of a second behind one of his competitors, Richings. There's quite a close fight there. A 10th off Kalugin, so he must have some time in the locker there to improve a time.
Now picked up Serpentine. He's already put a lap in that's 2.2 seconds down. Does he have much in the way of an improvement? No. Oh, not just yet. Car back to car number 14. That's M. Grace in the Porsche. And no improvement for M. Grace. Car number 74, Colpitts. I believe just improved up to there. Car number 34 of Bonham. Brings the deficit down to 3/10, but hasn't improved his position just yet. Car number 71, Van der Waal. Up to P10 at the moment. And then jumped to P7. Well done to him. Car number 33. That is Sharp, who I've just missed. And he jumped up to P14. Car number 32 coming over the line.
That's Filomeno into P6 there. Car 985 just crossed the line. Felix, P22. Car 36 now just about to cross the line. 36 Coppins in P19.
Yeah.
717 Haymans is coming back to the line once again.
Getting lots of airtime, Haymans.
Good improvement from Haymans there. P9, great lap.
Great jumping of the grid.
So he has just been dropped 2 places already.
Just missed car number 70 of Sargent, just put himself up into P9. That was one of them that pushed him down. Got car number 41, who's experiencing a bit of traffic ahead of him, but will appreciate the tow as he goes down the pit straight now. This is Molnix in the blue Ferrari. And Molnix, massive jump, finding a lot of time there, about just over half a second, and puts himself P4, just ahead of Kravek.
Car 23, Delhi into P9 now. So Bonham has now jumped into P2. So he's now just over a tenth behind Leica.
And De Moya, who's putting in good early pace in practice, quarter of a second down from Leica at the moment. We've got picking up Sharp again, coming down Raviazza 2. There's a long draw to this line now. They've had to pick up a lot of traction to get to this line, which is a bit further down the straight. Sharp does not improve, but someone ahead of him did. I believe that was Kravek. 104.
So the next car closest to the line is 104, which is Richings, I believe.
It is. We've just picked him up, going around Raviazza 2. With the
car 77 of Grafe, and he bails out into the pits there.
The Richings improve. Not significantly. 884.
884. Eden down in P29, who's not set a lap yet.
Eden as always seems to be in the wars. Can he move himself further up the grid in the hope of staying out of the fight? P19 for now.
Car 41 coming back round Molnix. Needs a good improvement here. Doesn't quite get it.
I've got Delhi coming towards the line. Jumps to P7. Great improvement. Seems to be a bit gaggle there. From about P5, it's quite close.
Sorry, buddy. We had De Moya jump from P4 to P2 there.
Oh, with such a small margin.
Half a tenth behind Leica now.
Well, you're not running much fuel. He can't go much further round.
Car 19 closest to the line, which is Jabino. Good improvement, P24 to P20.
Yeah, they're doing well. I mean, he's got a long way to catch Rodriguez.
I mean, just crossed the line, didn't see if he improved or not. Car 888 now coming round the double left.
Leica. Can he put any numbers back on De Moya? The gap's quite small at the moment. Can he make it bigger? To the line he goes. He does! Wow! Puts an extra 6, nearly 7 tenths on De Moya. What a lap. It's not the best place to park it though.
No, I mean, it's a bright pink Aston Martin. You'll see it. That's probably what he's thinking.
I mean, the Aston Martin mechanics aren't very good at spotting their cars near the pit lane at the moment, are they?
Ooh, no spoilers.
So we've got Coppins now.
36.
Towards the line he goes. Currently about 5th in class. Will there be an improvement? He's about half a second to jump above Serfontaine and Sharp. No improvement. Car number 25 is about to come around Raviazza 1. That is Rodriguez, who's currently leading the AM tier by quite a significant margin at the moment. He has 6 tenths to the next closest AM tier driver. Potentially somebody's lifted out some of his sandbags. But no improvement at the moment. Got quite a lot of cars coming around the final bend now.
So Llewellyn jumped from P29 to P22.
I've got Sharp coming towards the line. That's car number 32, Felameno, sticking it around in P5. So no improvement for Sharp. Got Clayton, who's quite towards the top. In the Aston Martin. With Eden closely behind. No improvement for Clayton. Further back around the lap, we'll go to car number 23. Is Delhi navigating the chicane? A very anti-alta. Down into the vats as he goes. Oh, as he takes a lot of grass. I mean, he'll have got a really wide line. Should set him up nicely for the exit. Questionable track limits near the pit wall.
A kiss there.
Yeah. But no improvement from what I can see. Car number 25.
Rodriguez fighting that Mustang out of the Ravats there.
We're in the land of praising prancing horses, not galloping horses.
Well, he does jump Grace there up to P10, so a little bit of an improvement from him. Car 37, Sharp now.
So he goes. Stays
No
P6.
improvement. He just needs a margin just to jump Filomeno for top 5 there.
We've got the other Sharp. Line and goes P25. 884. This is Eden amongst a fair bit of traffic. But as mentioned before, this bit to have traffic is fine because he'll say thank you for the slipstream. Oh, as he watches the Ferrari ahead of him, looked like he tried to enter the pit using just a gap in the wall that he saw. Got car 23 again. That's Delhi, who's just gone to Variante Alta. And here's Bumblebee McLaren. That's probably not quite accurate. Bumblebee's probably more yellow as he bails out. We can go on board with 888. To Leica. We have car 25 who's near the end of that. That's Rodriguez.
Rodriguez just navigating a bit of traffic there.
So with 10 places between him and his tier rival, he's doing a great job. Got car number 9. Gone blind. Car number 9, ooh. Townsend.
Yeah, right down in P28 Townsend. Bit of a moment there into the first Ravats there. It doesn't seem to affect him too much. He does have Haymans just behind him.
So he gets no closer to Coppins. Stays last in class.
Oof. Probably a bit of a dodgy stop there from Haymans. He had a car coming out of the pits and a car coming past him on the track there, and just about managed to let him.
Oh, as Clayton has jumped from P4 to P2. Goes within 7/10 of Leica. As we pick up Rodriguez again, who's the furthest round their lap. Oh, as that's not the best variante Alta.
That was very outer, wasn't it?
Very outer limits. As we have supporters for De Moya saying, Ricardo saying, go, go, go. Thank you for joining us. 37. This is Adam Sharp. I think this corner before Ravazza won should really be acknowledged on the track. But it's not. Sharp pulls towards the line. We're into our final 3 minutes. And with 100-second laps on the table, probably means an out lap and a last lap for most.
Leica does improve ever so slightly now, 8/10 exactly to Clayton.
It's kind of below. The track's getting very busy now.
Quite a few cars now coming to the line, guys. G Brown jumps from P14 to P10 there.
So Bonham, who's leading the championship right now, is coming towards the line and puts himself P2 within 6/10. As Leica looks like he's bailed out of the session. This is Felameno in BMW, but we do have car number 11 just ahead. Struggling to find him, so we'll stay on.
Llewellyn down in P21 for Llewellyn.
So we'll stay on board with Felameno then. Very undramatic. The BMW comes towards the line, stays P6.
Do you have car 991, which, have you guessed, is a Porsche? We got Doran or Doran? Doran. I mean, let us know, buddy, if we've butchered that. We're really sorry. P24.
I'd love for it to be announced. Here. I'd love for that to be announced during. I can make loads of Hobbit and dwarf jokes.
Well, that's not very nice, is it?
He was a prince.
I mean, Prince of the Grass at the minute.
A king under the mountain.
Do have Kravek into the pits. Car 14 just behind him. Grace seems to be firing to the line.
And Eden as well.
Oh, big smash from the wall for Grace.
Eden from P12 is going to take himself to P12. Not too much improvement in the last few moments. Got Sargent in the BMW, giving it one more go. He will get to go again, but that does bump him up to second in class, P11. Car number 41, who is first in class in silver tier. It's Mulnix, who's not too far away from the pro drivers around him. Stays P8. Car
77, Grafe down in P18. Not sure if that's an improvement, but he stays solid in P18 there. He's got one more attempt at a lap.
Usually expect a lot more from Grafe. He's been doing so well recently.
I mean, maybe the win from last week has got to his head a little bit. Maybe he still might be a bit drunk from all that champagne win. Not that we'd encourage drink driving, obviously.
Of course. Have a 0. Whatever it is you're drinking, have a 0.
We do have G Brown testing the limits on the exit of the chicane there.
Do you know what? Gordon Brown, I don't think, has done a significant job of testing these barriers yet. I'm awfully disappointed. Look, oh, he's testing the grass. There's grass there. He's gone, yep, tick.
He's testing his WRC skills once again.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of barrier testing, I have seen Gedman slip into the lobby right down the bottom. He's not set a lap yet. Maybe he's just doing some extra testing for the boys to make sure safety first.
As Brown does jump up to P8. 334 is coming to the line. Oh, as there he goes. WRC. Goes Brown.
I think Gedman is just about to set his one and only lap, if it is valid.
I don't think it will be.
No,
and Kalugin stays P19. Car 113 of Llewellyn. That's a lovely looking livery, that. Oh, as he jumps right up to P15. Great improvement at the last gasp. Serfontaine puts his final lap in and goes P19. So Grafe, after his win last week, down in P20. So there you have it, everyone. So to run down that list, we have Leica heading off the Pro Tier, followed by Bonham, the championship leader, with Clayton 8 tenths behind, closely followed by only a 3,000th of a second is De Moya, then Sharp in P5, Filamo in P6, Kramek in P7, G Brown in P8. Only by then are we disrupted by the silver tier drivers of Mulnix, who leads his class. Delhi, who continues the Pro Tier in P10, Sargent P2 in class, well done to him, P11. Rodriguez eventually closed in by Llewellyn a little bit further down. He starts in P12, leading this tier. We've got Eden at P13, Grace in P14, Llewellyn second in his class in P15. We have Colpitts third in his class in P16, Heymans P17, Vanderwall P18, Serfontaine third in class in P19, Grafe in P20, Kalugin P21, Doran in P22, Ainley 23, Jabino 24, Sharp 25, Townsend 26, Richings 27, Coppens 28, Felix in P29, and Gedman, who did not result in setting a time, in P30. So that is a mega grid of mega grids. 30 drivers ready to go ripping it around Imola. I'm super excited. And if you are as well, make sure you like, share and subscribe to this channel and to this stream as well. We stream almost every day of the week, whether it be Assetto Corsa, Competizione, as you see here, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Gran Turismo, Formula 1, an admin favourite of WRC. Basically, what we're saying is, if it has 4 wheels and you can race it online, FRL is the place to be. And if you'd like to get involved, not just in watching the content, but getting involved in being part of the content, make sure to drop a comment under the video, and admin will get back to you and hopefully send you a link to the Discord for you to get involved in any one of the things I just mentioned. And if you are already embedded in the FRL family, you can get even more involved via the Patreon. It keeps the lights on, keeps the helicopter flying when we need it. It starts at just £3 a month, and you can get special access to entries, special events, to your driver number, should that be Sacred Tube, and a whole bunch of other benefits as well. And it helps us and obviously help you with your engagement with FRL. And we are shortly going to get onto the action for 20 minutes. After you've seen that 20-minute sprint, do not go anywhere unless you're just getting a drink, staying hydrated, and otherwise making sure you're coming back. We then have a 40-minute sprint for you if you're not already familiar with the format. But yeah, Retro, it was Lycra headed off the rest of the grid quite heftily there.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Leica return. Obviously, unfortunately, he had that issue from Donington at the start of the season. Obviously, he got backed up by that double bus stop in the last sector. But it's great to see Leica return this week and stick it where he wants it, right on the top. Give Bonham possibly a run for his money. But obviously, maybe Grafe might get to grips with what he did last week. Maybe so far back he wanted a challenge, say just a few overtakes to then take the win. But it's all to play for. 20-minute sprint, no pit stop required, and obviously shortly followed by a 40-minute sprint. But obviously, guys, they do return to the places they qualified in for both races. So even though, say, Mulnix in P9 could, say, win race 1, for example, he's going to go back to P9 for race 2. So it's definitely, if they have a bit of an issue or a bit of an incident in race 1, they have another attempt at it in race 2.
Fantastic. Just caught myself there. No bingo calling for you guys.
I could hear the gears going, and he thought, oh, he's going to say it, I've got the pound ready, it's in the jar.
But as we were mentioning the Patreon guys, as you can see, somebody's not paid the kitty. Somebody has turned the lights off, and we are looking that we're going to start this race in the dark. So the drivers, very low temperature now, so we are at 9 degrees temperature, although the track is still reading as optimum.
It's interesting to see, though, without giving too many spoilers in case any of the drivers are listening. If you look on the session times, we've got a 10 PM race for race 1, but then 11 AM race 2. So it's going to be an interesting strategy for tyre temps and tyre elsewhere for race 1 and 2. See whether the boys are going to struggle or whether they're going to absolutely nail it, because that's what they do on Sprint Sunday. It's not a mega grid for a reason, bringing you guys this content. But I mean, it's going to be an interesting stint. Race 1 in the dark. Temperatures probably may have to be adjusted. 9 degrees, bit chilly. Might have to put your race coat on, put your little race gloves on. But say race 2, 11 AM might be a bit nippy. But say might have to get the sunshades out for that flashbang.
As the temperature is already starting to drop, Retro. It's gone from 9 degrees to 8 degrees already. I mean, that might start building the track temperature, but it's going to be
still reading as optimum though.
It is, but I don't think it's going to go to greasy. I'm not quite sure where it drops down from optimum, just if the track temperature drops too low. But we are going to have a full formation lap, and then we are going to be picking out the action in the dark. Advantage to anybody that uses line at this point, because they're not going to be able to spot their brake markers quite as easily as Leica does half a donut as he exits his pit box. As they head down towards the Tamburello chicane.
Good job. There's a thing called ghosting for formation lap, because we just saw Bonham get really up and close and personal to the back of the Aston Martin there.
So Bonham, who's starting in P2, did manage to regain some honour towards the end of qualifying and put himself back in a competitive position. He's been a regular staple of the post-race podcast. Patent pending.
So guys, obviously whilst we are waiting for the lads to warm up their tyres on this very dark Imola formation lap, let us know in the comments who's going to bin it, win it and spin it in the comments for race 1, race 2. Who are you backing? Let us know. We'll shout it out on the stream, so if a driver does watch it back, they can hear us absolutely giving them support or absolute abuse. PG only, obviously, for PG reasons. So I see 8 of you watching the stream at the minute. Get involved. Give us a shout. Give us a comment.
As Leica looks like he's gone stealth mode. He's turned off his lights.
Maybe he hasn't paid the bill.
He hasn't paid the bill.
He put that much money into going faster, he forgot to pay the light bill. But I believe if you don't turn the lights on a certain amount of time, you will get penalised from the game.
Interesting. Maybe he heard you. Oh no! Oh no! Don't penalise me. He had a light bulb moment.
The Leica light bulb.
I like it like that. As they go through the Variante Alta now, only really got the 2 Ravazzas to go, and then they'll be let go a fair while down the straight. As you can see, the start-finish line is where they'll let go. At that point, they do have a good opportunity to build up full speed, and then braking hard into Torregado. As Bonham really super eager to get this going.
It's quite interesting to see whether being on the inside or the outside necessary for the kink, or what we would call turn 1/turn 2, which then becomes favourable for turn 3 and that extra little stretch of straight before a couple more technical turns. Who's going to have the juice to get going?
So we are waiting for 5 green lights. All the cars are now on the pit straight, just waiting for go, go, go. Very close now. So go metric go, says Scriba. Leaving it really late, and we are go. So it's not like he gets a really good start. Bonham, like a little behind, goes defensive to the Aston Martin behind him, then opens his line up for the next corner. Oh, Bonham takes a fair bit of curb. Leica, sorry, takes a fair bit of curb. but does seem to get away cleanly. Still desperately trying to warm up his tyres is Leica. As we wait for the timing screens to resolve themselves before we give you more action.
It does look like a lot of drivers did survive the first couple of corners. No yellow flags just yet, buddy.
So we can now go down the order. De Moy is under a fair amount of pressure from Sharp. Also got Brown pressuring Mulnix.
So we did have Sargent.
Did somebody jump out for a move there? Oh, as we have a shaker in the back. There's someone going all over the place, and that is Kalugin, who's been spun around. Just coming into Aqua Minerale. So disaster for Kalugin.
Oh, unfortunately you just missed that, but it was a great move from Grace into the chicane there. So I think that was Rodriguez, got a little bit out of shape, took too much curbing, which basically opened the door. Oh, big send from Eden. He's gone on the grass into the Ravats.
There's so much going on in these opening laps.
He does hold off well to rejoin, but it's going to hurt him massively on this lap 1.
Kalugin has rejoined with a few cars still behind him. It's a few more incidents than we originally picked out. Well in. Good. We're making quite a good progress on Rodriguez, but now Rodriguez seems to have had a few corners as we see ahead. Grace trying to take a little look down the inside of Delhi. But Brown not getting the best of exits, has to go defensive for the next corner. Grace sizing up into Peritella.
Great move from Grace there. I think there's Delhi now losing out to Rodriguez as well.
Oh, as that is Brown.
Having a moment.
Yeah, he's gone deep. Aqua Minerale. That's allowed a good few cars through. And that's going to back everybody up for the chicane. So timing screens are all in disarray. Further up front, we've got Clayton within 3/10 of Bonham. He doesn't seem to have warmed his tyres up fantastically. Like he's putting in a good gap at the front. Oh, but a bit further back, we've got Delhi having to put a few defensive moves on Llewellyn just behind him.
Got G, Brown and Llewellyn down the straight. Just trying to weave his way, show his nose. A great defender from G Brown there.
Oh, as we have an incident down at the second turn, we've got 2 cars off the track. But Delhi, who I've just picked up, got a tap from one of the cars and managed to get on.
I think that's Coal Pits in the BMW.
Finding Kravik, who's having a good exit, to go after Filomeno.
Oh, who was that? That was Doran in the Porsche. He's having a bit of a moment on the rear there, spinning round. I think just clipped a car, but manages to get out safely.
So I've got a feeling there's a move coming from Kravik. He's really confident in his last few corners. Filomeno does seem to have settled his car out. Struggling to get the grunt down.
Naughty. Sorry, buddy. We had Clayton cut the chicane there. He's still behind Bonham, but he's going to have a bit of a gap there. We've got car 36, yellow flag right towards the bottom. Coppens, not sure what's happened. Serpentine involved as well.
Yes, disastrous for Serpentine.
So wherever we look, guys, there's battles everywhere, so you have to bear with us. All the cars are
we've got
bunched
Ainley
up.
being move being made on him by Townsend. So should I pick up the car at 23 and 27 or 97? Well, the timing screens are not updating kindly for us. We'll pick up Delhi again. Is really close onto the back of Ainley. Less than 0.2 of a second as they went through the Tamburello, no, the Villeneuve chicane.
So Bonham has swiped fastest lap from Leica. For anyone interested on the stream, a 1:41.4 for Bonham, fastest lap.
So I go back to Kravek, who's still chasing down Filomeno. He has not let him escape. Big pressure coming from Kravek. As the cars are a bit more settled now. Individual battles are starting to form. We're approaching halfway already in this race, about a third of the way through.
Well, just further down the field we've got Gedman and Richings. Great braking from Gedman there into chicane. Let's see a car go off in the back. Yes, we did. J Sharp out of track limits in the chicane there.
Oh, there's a car behind him, a BMW. That was Colpitts losing it out of Variante Alta. So again,
you have Jabino and Grafe now coming down the straight. Jabino on the inside, takes too much curb, goes across the gravel there.
And Grafe says, "Thank you very much." That'll be my
bleeding
position.
places now that let Ainley through as well. Delhi also looking to lick his lips at this. Not quite close enough.
Oh, that Lamborghini looks like a right handful about now, and he's got Delhi all over him. This might be a switch back into Tamburello. Jabino defends it well, gets a little bit snaky under braking, just puts Delhi off.
We do have speeding in the pit lane for Serpentine there.
As Kravik has got past Filomeno, that battle I was tracking for a little while, that has now concluded with Kravik taking the place.
We do have De Moya, who's now taken fastest lap from Bonham.
And these two super close. De Moya and Clayton, with Bonham not far up the road. Look, 3-car battle for P2. With Leica just keeping that edge ahead. Got Delhi again. Looks like he's going to try and have another go at Jabino.
Oh my word, what a move from Doran there. As I was flicking through the pack, I could see he was a little bit behind Gedman there. I wasn't going to say anything, but just absolutely just sent move of the century into the Ravats. What a move, lad. Give yourself a pat on the back.
We'll try and pick that up later on. But it does look like Doran is... Well, Kalugin is coming at Gedman now. A few bigger gaps emerging now. Got this close one here. Rodriguez. Sorry. Kalugin coming at Gedman, but he has gone a little bit deep at Tozen, taking a bit of grass. Doesn't seem to have deterred him. Even closer though is Ainley on Grafe. Grafe, who has made positions from his start. So P20, as always, is a drift around Aqua Minerale. And as impressive as it was, it's allowed Ainley to try and draw up alongside Grafe, but can't get enough real estate on the corner as they both bound over different curbs going through Variante Alta. Into Ravazza 1 now. Both drivers clearly pushing hard.
Sorry, buddy. P21. Gedman trying to fight off Kalugin. He was side by side, but the Bentley barge getting that motor running.
Oh, but Kalugin's gone for the dive! And he's gone massively deep. And Brown's gone deep as well. What does this mean for Eden? Kalugin rejoins behind Eden, but now Eden's going to have one hell of a drive. But the Bentley barge does not give up easily. It's the brute force of the engine from the Bentley pays dividends at this part of the track. But can the pressure from Kalugin do anything?
Up the field, we did have Rodriguez try to send a move on Grace into the hairpin. They didn't quite get the move done. So the Porsche traction where it's at, strong, dominant. So it does send the Mustang in the reverse mirror.
But I'm telling you, Rodriguez looks confident and comfortable chasing down that Porsche.
Well, speaking of confident, we had G Brown go off just behind in the shot in the helicopter cam.
Picks up Clayton, who was in about half a second behind Bonham.
He is reeling him in slowly. It was 7/10,
and now
just over 5.
And now with blue flags, might hinder one of their progress.
Back up to 8 now. So Leica has now taken fastest lap.
Back to Rodriguez, who's still chasing down Grace. What can Power do down this straight? Doesn't seem to be as strong as the other barges.
No, speaking of barges, I thought we was going to have a good battle down the straight between Giobbino and Ainley. But Ainley got a great drive out the Ravazza there to propel himself a big gap in front of Giobbino.
There's quite an interesting battle developing down from P21. Gedman is leading Eden and Kalugin. Kalugin, who was well on for overtaking Gedman, but Gedman, out of all of that, seems to have come off marginally better because the man who was pressuring him a lot more is now behind Eden for defence. But Eden now closing in on Gedman. Doesn't look comfortable, either missing apex or hitting them hard.
I'm not sure if Molnix has had a moment there.
Oh, someone behind has just gone off.
Closing up very nicely, which is also bringing Rodriguez into tow as well for a fight for P8 there.
Oh, there's a lot of curb disgrace. Costs him getting on the power and exiting very anti-alta. Will there be a move on here? He does seem to be closing. Now he's got back up to speed. Too far back currently. I think Delhi has overtaken Townsend in the previous sector. Oh, as we got Kalugin going off again in the Ravazzas. Just seems to have kept it out of the wall, but that's going to have him lose a lot of places. With the BMWs behind of Felix and Colpitts. Oh, who is that? That's the Mustang of Rodriguez. Deep, allowing Grace through. Going through the Villeneuve chicane. And now, Brown coming up the rear. Barge versus boat, what wins?
We've got Delhi for a drive-through for track limits already. That's where Brown struggled the most, but gets a great drive there.
He feels confident. He's looking for the inside line. As Rodriguez seems to have necessarily gone to the grass on entry. Now, if they're smart, both drivers won't really worry too much about defending the Ravazzas, but instead look to line up your exit onto the pit straight. Trust in the power of your engine.
Sorry,
Arguably,
buddy, just a little
getting
bit further down the field, we've got a little freeway fight. Richings, Doran and Townsend there now coming into the Ravats.
Oh, as we have a
big
tap
there.
Oh, Doran on Richings is giving him a tap, and he's happy to take the position for now. I reckon some words will be said, be some flashes, I bet. It looks like Richings is just going to try and take it back the old-fashioned way. As Delhi serves his drive-through.
Yeah.
Oh, as he gets blocked to the outside, does Richings. We've seen many a big incident there over the years. Richings probably driving quite angry now. Rodriguez.
Still further up the field, G. Brown is still all over the back of Rodriguez.
Yeah, this three-way fight for P9. Hotting up. Grace hasn't exactly ran away, but he's got just enough of a gap to feel reasonably confident. As Brown looks to the inside again. Yeah, hangs it out wide. Much closer than he was last time round. I wouldn't want to send this car into the first Ravazza though, would you?
I don't know, big Bentley barge on the brakes just before taking the interesting Mustang. So I think Brown a little bit of a slip there at the second Ravazza. So Bentley barge now firing all cylinders down the straight. Is he going to get a move done?
So Rodriguez goes defensive. Graves stays on a tight inside line. Graves defends inwardly. That blocks Rodriguez off.
Ooh.
Brown has to back out. Where did Rodriguez go? He went deep and Brown is through. Does Graves stay on?
Still hold the position though, but Brown's going to say thank you very much.
He's been put on the outside. Can he turn in without challenge? Grace sticks it round there. This is some great defending from Grace. Grace has managed to keep that one alive. And then defends the inside of Tozer brilliantly. Fantastic. He was all but out of that battle, but then regained his position while Brown was still trying to make the move complete. So great driving from Grace. And then we have Rodriguez behind, who then tried an inside line over the hill.
I thought that was going to end badly there, buddy. I didn't know what to expect. A Mustang. Ooh. Brown getting very close to Grace once again. I think as Grace got a sticker on the back of his car says hit me if you like racing.
Oh, as Brown jumps the chicane.
WRC at its finest. The Havre from race control.
I think he's not happy.
On final lap.
So Brown flashing Grace. I think he thinks he was moving under braking. This fight carries on.
Further down the field, we've still got Doran, Townsend and Richings going at it side by side now. Who's going to get a better grunt? A little bit of Robbins racing into the Ravats now, side by side. We've seen Doran do a great move on the Bentley earlier. Is he going to do the same again? Gives him room.
Oh, brilliant racing from Doran there. How he found the traction on the inside of the corner. Oh,
there we have Townsend. Bit of a snap there, letting Richings through.
Completely on his own steam, but it does look like Townsend has regained his power now. He's sticking with him. I think it's going to be too little by the time they get to Tamburello. Yeah, he just loses out with Eden closer behind. And Gedman even closer behind him. But Leica, who's led this race from start to finish, has maintained a just over 1 second gap throughout the duration of this race. And luck is in on Vegas weekend. 888 comes home to win race 1 of Sprint Sunday around Imola. Well done to him.
Rodriguez cutting the grass of the chicane once again for one final time in race 2.
Yeah. 4th place for Imola, 5th place for Sharp, Kravek P6, Filomeno P7, and for the silver tier win, running around all by himself, big gaps either way, P8, and Grace is going to have to fight Brown off to the line, but I think should just about get it done as he does. And Rodriguez.
Ravats here. Eden is hot on the heels of Townsend. He's going to go big on the brakes here. Gedman up behind in the Bentley.
A lot of grass being used.
A bit. I don't think the Bentley's going to get all cylinders going before they touch the line. That is now going to take them to the checkered flag.
Felix comes home lonely in the dark in P25. Serfontaine with Delhi, Coppins, Llewellyn, Sargent finishing the race in the pits. Such a shame for Delhi. He was doing fantastically up until then. So guys, that is your standings for race 1. Grab myself a quick drink. So guys, as mentioned previously, do not go anywhere. We have a race 2, which is double the length of this one. Still no requirements to pit for fuel or tyres, only for damage if it's really required. So we had Leica winning the Pro Tier, followed by Bonham, Clayton, De Moya, Sharp, Kravek and Filomeno around the top 7 positions, followed by Grace and Brown. And Doran and Eden and Delhi right down the bottom. That is your Pro Tier lineup. They will resume their qualifying positions in the following race. And for the Silver Tier, you had Molnix. Brilliant battle with Grace. That so Brown. We did see you flashing, so let us know what that was about. So we have Molnix in P1 for the Silver Tier, followed by Heymans, followed by Van der Waal, with Grafe with a good recovery, back to P4 in the Silver Tier with Ainley, who's in a lot of battles there, in P5, Richings in P6, Gedman in P7, Klug in P8, Colpitts in P9. It was an apology. What'd you do to him?
Trying to mix WRC with ACC once again, because that's not the racing line, buddy.
And then Sargent finishing probably unclassified by the time it comes to classifications. And in the AM tier, we had Rodriguez leave most of his class in the dust. He's in P1, Jabino in P2, Townsend in P3, Sharp in P4. Serfontaine coming home a few laps down, but did finishing well in P5. Coppins and Llewellyn finishing several laps down in P6 and P7 respectively. So yeah, at least we'll have some sunlight the next time we go out, eh?
I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit easier for us to spot some of the absolute insane battles we are witnessing on track. So I think if given a chance, I think if we could, I'd love to show that clip from Doran overtake Gedman.
If you can remember what lap it was, we might be able to do it.
I'll have to possibly watch it back just quickly, obviously whilst we get the post-race interviews underway, just so we can get it shown up on the screen. But say, what a move that was from Doran. So just whilst we are waiting for the server to change, guys, do get involved if you are watching the stream. Let us know who's going to win it, spin it and bin it, all that juicy stuff. 40-minute sprint now coming up. No pit requirements, no fuel, no tyres, nothing like that, just straight 40 minutes of action-packed racing. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell someone you hate, tell someone you love. Spread the word, FRL is the place to be. As mentioned by the Lord Waffle himself, so the Patreon only starts at £3 a month, so you get your race number saved if it means something special to you, all the juicy content on and off season, behind the scenes, your own practice server for Patreon members, and say all the good stuff that all the benefits and add-ons have to offer, and obviously to listen to us for 2 hours. I mean, who doesn't want that, buddy?
Who wouldn't? I mean, my wife never watches the stream.
I mean, the feeling's mutual.
Yeah. No, she can, according to her, she can hear every word from downstairs. They don't call me Lord Waffle for nothing.
Exactly.
But you need lungs and a lot of words for this line of work. We also need all your support as well. So thank you for joining in with us. And thank you for those who obviously do help support the Patreon. But it doesn't just help us. It also helps the way the league runs, helps the admins get all the fantastic work they do done to the highest standard. As you can see, the league's been around for an awful long time. It's season 15 of this event alone. There's other events lasting even longer than that. So we are just counting down. We are on the daylight this time.
So the track is warmer this time round. 15 degrees ambient, 19 degrees track. So it's about 10 to 11 degrees warmer than what it was for race 1. And obviously the sunlight has awoken us for race 2. So hopefully not too much upset on the setups that the guys are going to have to change. But say the sunlight is out. The sunshades are on, rocking and ready for race 2. The guys have been reset back to their qualifying places from obviously the qualifying session, so if they made better places or unfortunately lost out to places in race 1, they do get another stab at it for race 2. So hopefully the drivers can keep it as squeaky clean as they did in race 1 through the first opening laps. So hopefully not cause too much carnage for this 40-minute sprint. As mentioned, there is no pit requirements, no fuel, tyres or nothing like that. It's just a straight 40-minute action-packed sprint race. So if you're down and out on lap 1, keep your head down. You can still pull it back. There's plenty of opportunity.
Yeah. One of the main guys who's been really benefiting from having a full reset on the grid would be Delhi, who started in P10, was making good progress, getting involved in a lot of good battles, but through potentially faults of his own and track limits, did end up having a drive through, didn't consider it worth going back out, and did finish the race in the pits. So we'll see if he's managed to put on his rose-tinted sunglasses and see the lights in the sky and maybe be a little bit of a brighter mood for this one. So we're going to go for 40 minutes around Imola. You've seen the dress rehearsal for this event, which was the 20 minutes you just viewed, albeit in the dark. I'm going to attempt to go to the helicopter cam. Some of the camera angles weren't the best in that last session. Well, obviously, we aim to bring you the best of all the action.
10 seconds.
As all the drivers should be confident in their setups now, have their fuel correctly adjusted for the race length. Just quickly get. So this is much better. Look what you can see now. There'll be a momentary pause once the lights go green as we just re-enter the session. As we just see Bonham take a little bit of a kiss to the rear of Leica there. That was a mid-camera there. So we're just heading round this formation lap. Drivers probably have a bit more of a positive effect warming their tyres this time around, with the temperatures being a little bit warmer. So not a little bit warmer, a lot more warm. Whole 10 degrees. The track, if you noticed, towards the end of the 20-minute session, actually got downgraded from optimum to just fast. Suspect starting at 11 AM, it will become what's already optimal. So an even improved tyre delta on this track. Like it, not being deterred by what the drivers are doing around him. As there's a bit of a pull away there. Can he pull off the same feat as last round? Bonham, who's had so much success in recent races, should, if for his sake, learn from his mistakes. If he considers to start a mistake, or if he just got beaten fair and square by Leica.
I mean, we saw it last week, though, didn't we? In the couple of races that we had, say, Grafe and Bonham starting on the front row. Say, Grafe took third time lucky, learned from his mistakes, and got the drive off the line to fend off Bonham. So maybe he can learn from his mistake this race to try to take a better fight to Leica.
Man, I always find that the Tamburello chicane is quite easy to defend from the inside. You can get ahead quite easily, and then the driver on your right can't really be aggressive over those high sausage curbs as they go through. So if you can get ahead to the second part of the Tamburello chicane, you're probably quite likely to go to the first sector ahead. There's Bonham, eager to get this going. He's going to slow down in his box a little bit. You're going to be going in any moment, as we see the old chicane. As we are.
Green light. Go, go, go.
As we are go. Leica makes a good start once again. Bonham in tow. But Clayton, De Moya. Trying to enter. As we have a
Sharp
contact.
loses out there.
And that was.
Facing the wrong way.
And that was Clayton, I believe. Or was it? No, it was De Moya. Went deep into that bend and caused havoc.
Yeah, he just cut across Sharp there, so Sharp is down and out into last place now.
As we see, bit of a move coming from Clayton just into Tozer. The timer screens have now updated. We've got Mulnix alongside Delhi. Up the hill, Delhi backs out. I think he quite easily could have made that, but with this exit that he's got.
Oh, who was that? Van der Waals been spun round at the top of the hill there, facing the wrong way.
Oh, as we have Brown going deep. Brown has lost it and lost a few positions. They have to rejoin from the grass. And the battle with Sargent. Not Sargent. And lost Brown again. Oh, Brown gets the elbows out in the chicane. That's the BMW of... Oh, the Ford, sorry. Of Rodriguez that's overtaken him. So a lot of positions lost by Brown there. As we got another move behind him, we've got Llewellyn down the inside. Colbert's down the inside of Llewellyn, but loses out in the end. Clayton.
Nice and tightly packed on this opening lap.
Look at it, slipstream from Clayton, Retro. He's coming around that side, but oh, De Moya just cuts him off. Doesn't allow him to go deep. He is. So that Aston Martin is quite the rocket ship. Only so many of the straights on this track are quite long enough to really take full advantage. Clayton is driving a really good race, but he goes a little bit too deep. through the Villeneuve chicane. Other battles down the grid. Who Rodriguez fancies look at Grace. Then Deli ahead, super close on the back of Sargent. With Townsend has got past Gedman at some point. Gedman getting heavy on the brakes at the top of the hill.
Yeah, further down the field we've got Sharp trying to make his way back through the field. He's all over the back of Felix in the green BMW.
Seems to be a lot more confident coming around Aqua Minerale there. Felix initially goes defensive, flunks his car in the middle of the road and slowly drifts over. Oh, they gets in
front.
Yeah, Sharp sort of gets invited out there by Felix. I go back up the field to find Ainley overtaking Durant, who just went off in between the Ravazzas. What can Durant do here though? Because whilst he was off track, he does seem to have a better drive out the corner. That wide line really helping him with traction. That almost looked a little bit too easy to come back now because now
Serpentine's going to get a tow as well. Look at this, the speed from Serpentine.
He does get squeezed. He gets squeezed again. And that's Jabino up the rear of them. It's a great 6-car battle emerging here.
Just further up the field, buddy. Filomeno side by side with Kravek, sorry. Kravek all over the back of that BMW for P5.
They just seemed to go a little bit deep at Tozer, did Filomeno. The back, Molnix very confident on the brakes. Great gaining of ground over the hill. And out of Aqua Minerale, Molnix, the much better drive than Kravek. Kravek goes a bit deep on the brakes, draws ahead. Now Molnix has got Sargent all over the back of him.
Well, there's 2 cars off just after Aqua Minerale. Is it Colpitts and a Ferrari I see? There's Llewellyn as well. Both drivers taken to the grass there. Not sure what happened. Maybe we might see it in the stewards room.
Now Bonham holding a much tighter gap to Leica this time around. He's under 8 tenths. That
Sorry,
1.5 second
behind
gap.
as well. We've got Clayton close on Demoy down the straight. He's going to show his nose to the outside. Is there going to be
he's
a
on the
George Russell
grass.
Bottas moment? Not quite.
We need to watch a few of those. Demoy's been putting a very hard defence going into Tamburello. Oh, it's Molnix behind Kravik. Kravik gets bounded over the curb, rejoins and has to give the place up. Will he also get taken by Sargent here? Sargent's alongside in Tozer, gets his nose ahead, draws through the corner and gets ahead. Very costly mistake there for Kravik. Kravik does seem to be coming back a little bit. Sargent does seem to have that one under control.
Ooh, that's not what we want to see. Heyman's taken an interesting line into Tozer there, but taps the side of Felix and both drivers find themselves on the grass there. Both drivers still moving forward.
Oh, Townsend and Sharp coming into Aqua Minerale. Oh, as
well, really good save from Townsend there.
But as good a save as it was, it has invited Gedman in. Gedman who's found a bit more speed. Gedman looking left and right. Gedman tries to keep his nose in, but this is invited Eden in. The compromised line. Eden is now coming at him, but Eden's got problems of his own. Richings right behind him. Richings shows his nose to the inside. He's going to be on the inside for the first Rivazza. It's going to kick left as they touch. Eden goes deep, and that allows Richings through.
And now Sharp as well.
as I've picked up Rodriguez, who was quite close behind Grace. It's got ahead of Grace, but had a not so good first chicane, and now Grace coming back at him. Just looking a bit of a handful, that Mustang.
So just further down where Gedman, great drive out the first chicane. Oh, does he tap Townsend? I think he does. Sends him across the gravel, but where's Sharp gone? Gedman's gained 2 out of that. Sharp's bleeding places here, overtaken by the other Sharp. I think that was just out of his own driver error, unfortunately, but lost loads of places there.
Oh, we've got Sargent and Kravek fighting out into the tight chicane of Variante Alta. Sargent is able to deal with a lot of curb there and gets a better drive.
Very brave line from Sargent there.
As further back, Rodriguez goes off the track at Variante Alta, and that allows Grace through. Will he end up letting Brown through as well? Brown's very interested. Oh, he initially gets a good on the brakes, but then Rodriguez has to get even harder on the brakes and ends up not being able to take the corner effectively and loses out to Brown all the same.
So once again, further afield, we've got Clayton trying to show his nose at Demoya.
Will there be another squeeze here? Bit fairer this time. I'm not saying that last time wasn't fair, but it was not quite as strong. A great job of defending that position. Not too far behind them. What, Mulnix trying to pressure Felameno into a mistake.
So you mean Sargent and Kravek just having a little side by side there. Kravek gets through on the gravel. Sargent slips through in the BMW boat there. He's now got Delhi behind him into Toza.
I was on about Mulnix and Felameno. They were having a battle as well.
Ah, fair enough. It's when I quickly flicked onto it, it didn't look as close as the battle that I flicked onto.
I mean, you were probably right, but because looking at this battle with Delhi pushing Kravek up to the back of Sargent.
Okay, Delhi getting a great drive there, just a little bit bound on the curb there, does unsettle that McLaren.
He's very close. There shouldn't really be a dive into Variante Alta. All cars through there cleanly. Further down the grid, we've got Kalugin trying to move on Serpentine. Jobino in tow.
We've still got Sharp, Eden, Richings, and just in front, Gedman as well.
Well, Sharp's got a good drive out of Variante Alta. As we peer through the trees, down the hill, into the Ravazza. Eden looking very confident with 2 wheels off the track. Picking up the slipstream. Ferrari versus Ferrari. Italian flags all around here. Sharp has got a fantastic slipstream. He elects to show his nose to the inside. The track opens up for him. And he slips his car through. Brilliant move. Has to work out his line on the exit, which was compromised because he made the move. But Eden looking very confident on the back of Richings. Caught back up to him almost immediately.
Sargent has slightly pulled away from Kravek. Delhi is now getting under pressure from Grace.
And
Brown
just ahead.
in tow as well. Rodriguez slightly catching as well.
And just ahead, Mulnix. There's a lot of interest in Felameno. Gap is under 0.4 of a second. But it doesn't look like Mulnix can do anything about the grunt of that BMW.
It's interesting to see Clayton go around the second Ravats now. Can he try get a move on? He looks a bit too far away. What's the gap going to be to the timing line?
It's only 3.5 tenths.
Close enough.
But he's coming. All the same, he's coming. Ooh. As Clayton takes a very honest line. towards the curb there. As we see up front, Leica has etched out that gap to Bonham which he was holding last race, 1.5 seconds.
Oh, further down, buddy, we've got Richings and Llewellyn side by side. Llewellyn getting a great drive on the slipstream there. Gives Honest space there, but does go deep, keeping his line honest, which invites Richings back.
Great Essing driving. There's not usually moving the corner. Essing. Not having another trigger warning on the YouTube.
Slightly down behind that as well. We've got Townsend and Colpitts into Tozer. So the McLaren showing its braking superiority there. So the BMW boat is going to fight back under grunt and speed.
Yeah, it just looked like Townsend is just a little bit more confident. Colpitts even looking a bit more confident than Townsend. Kissing apexes, keeping them sweet.
So once again, buddy, I'm going to interrupt. Clayton is a lot closer down the straight from De Moya. He's trying to break the slipstream there. But Clayton's now going to get the side-by-side for the inside line. Is this the move that he's wanted?
Finally managed to position his guys inside, but Clayton has gone super deep as they touch. Oh, disaster! It was a battle that was bubbling, and Clayton's going to get to drive away. De Moya loses that 2 positions, and now
he's got Sargent all over the back of him.
He's going to be hoping his tyres have warmed back up.
They've got Molnick sending a dive into Tozer on Filomeno.
Oh, as they get a touch. Molnick was having that line where the Filomeno lights are not. Yeah. As we've got Kravek super close in the back of Sargent now. This whole battle has been backed up by that action between Clayton and De Moya. We've got De Moya followed by Sargent, followed by Kravek, followed by Dealey, followed by Grace. It's a huge battle with Molnick's not too far ahead either.
So just slightly behind that as well, you've got Doran, Serfontaine, Kalugan and Jabino as well.
Sorry, Retro, I think we're going to get a move from Grace here. Grace from quite far back throws a move on Delhi. I think if he'd have been a bit braver, Delhi would have been forced into giving a bit more space. But all the same, Grace has got a great drive. He took the outside line in the end. As they come onto the straight, he is drawing alongside. Do you think the McLaren will have slightly better straight line speed, but will he lose out as they come to the apex? Track opens up as they turn in, and Delhi has to finally concede that position. With Rodriguez in all of that, has closed in, takes a lot of curb on the exit. Will there be a move into Tozer from Rodriguez on Delhi? Delhi just seems to have lost a bit of confidence in the car. I'll go forward to De Moya.
Side by side with Filomeno.
In this layout drag race, I'd expect Filomeno to win out on this one. Oh, as he goes across his nose, just so I managed to regain the car, but does go wide all the same. De Moya blocks him off, coming back onto track. Sargent's been allowed around the outside as they come into Aqua Minerale, but he carry more speed. Around the outside, Sargent goes wide. Kravik goes through. Kravik pushes Sargent off the track. Sargent still regains speed. Traction is everything as they come down towards Variante Alta. But it looks like Kravik's going to have the inside line. Is going to muscle this one out, but Sargent has got muscles of his own. He elbows him to the outside curb, and then Grace comes up the rear. Grace with better traction here. Sargent's going to have to do a lot of defending. Sargent chooses the inside line. Grace has made a good move last time round in this corner. Can he switch it in? No, he can't. Sargent defends well. But Kravik goes a bit deep, and Sargent should have a great drive out of here to get this position back.
Yeah, you can
Great
flip over
action.
the curb in there. I think he just hurt his time there, but so he does look like he's reeling a Ferrari in.
Grace has got great traction. But I think the position is going to go to Sargent here. He wants to flick to the inside. Gets indecisive, doesn't go for it. And then a minor tap on the rear of Kravek. Grace takes a lot of curb to get a lot of traction on Sargent here into the Villeneuve chicane. Can he get enough alongside to warrant the space? Backs out.
But just behind that, with a great dive from Rodriguez. Just behind, where's Deli gone? Deli's gone on the gravel.
And Grace shows his nose again. Once again, not quite brave enough. Anything further down the grid? We've got Gedman having to defend from Sharp, who looks for the outside move. Gedman does well to hold off Sharp for now. Now he gets onto a nice little straight. Can let this grunt do all the talking. But Ainley now on Deli. Deli, who had a big off, has now got himself involved in a lesser battle further back. Deli's had a torrid time this evening. And Grace still on the back of Sargent. Rodriguez got a lot of interest too. Sharp has stuck with Gedman. But this typically isn't the part of the track where Sharp's going to win out. But if Kalugin keeps backing Gedman up, there's no reason Sharp can't make a press on Gedman. But we're going to see what Gedman can do with all his power. He's not too far behind Kalugin for it to be out of the question. As he fires up all the pistons in his car. And Brown is coming, Retro. It's going to be bold. Both of them look to make a move there and have just all cancelled each other out. As we have Grace in the pits. And that is Deli.
At the moment, Deli on the gravel once again. Return to pits. I think credit's where credit's due. I think Leica has checked out at the moment. Over 3.2 seconds of a gap to Bonham there.
As we go back to Gedman, who's now on harsh defence from Sharp. Sharp's just got his nose up the inside. As they go around Piratella. Eden from a long way back.
Gedman struggling to keep that barge under control there.
As Eden, heavy on the curb. That invites Llewellyn. Llewellyn, if he can get his braking done right, he backs out. Not quite bold enough. Then he's still got half his race left. As Gedman goes deep. So I see an admin in a barge, and I just go, they're just interchangeable. Sharp for another lap. Chooses not to have any drama. I think something's happened with Heymans recently. It's very close to the back of Townsend. Got De Moya trying to regain some honour. He is now 5th again and chasing down Mulnix. And Firmino just out of picture. So Sharp still on Brown. Who's going to get him through anywhere? Use your traction, use your car control in this section. Once again, I think he has to get out the power from underneath Brown. Brown did not get the best.
Pushing Gedman up the hill now.
They enter Piratella. Sharp is very, very close. There's no reason he can't make a move into Acqua Minerale. But he chooses the outside line, which is always going to disappear. Oh, as he gets on the bumps on the outside. Eden is close, but I don't think quite close enough to make a move. As all cars in this spot in the race are very close and just being quite considerate. Llewellyn getting so close on Eden when Eden got backed up behind there. Llewellyn shows his nose, tries to break deep into the corner. Eden's not having any of it. Moya still keeping that gap to Molnix ahead, about half a second, shaving it down every lap. Way down the grid, we've got Heymans chasing on Van der Waal, who I think was a bit closer at the start of the straight. Van der Waal just seemed to have more straight line speed. Just ahead of them, we've got Richings chasing down Townsend. This battle's been going on for a while. We'll see this one through to Tozer, just to see if either of them can make an impact. But, as we say that, Riching goes deep and loses ground to Townsend, and then invites Van der Waal and Heymans into the mix. Van der Waal going a little bit wider on Tozer. And we've got another big battle going on ahead. We've been visiting this one quite a bit. Kalugin leads Gedman, leads Sharp, leads Eden, leads Llewellyn. With Serpentine about a second down the road. Now Sharp, as close as I've seen him into the Ravazzas, he elects to use a fair bit of grass down the hill. Gedman does well, defends the inside. Recognised how significant that challenge would have been from Sharp, but now Sharp's been compromised in the back of Gedman, and this invited Eden into the party. And with the slipstream drifting away from Brown and coming towards Eden, I think there might be a move into into Tamburello here from Eden. Eden elects to the outside, which so far this race has been shown to be quite easily defended. But just looks... Oh, as Llewellyn in the back goes for a big four-wheel drift and turns his car. Sat right in the middle of the chicane now. Is able to recover without too much impact. Van der Waal on Richings. Oh, as Townsend goes for a big move on the inside of Llewellyn into Villeneuve. Llewellyn, who's clearly still suffering on his tyres. But looks to come back now. He might have cooled him down. Thinks about the move. Does not manage to pull it off. Now Serpentine has been slowly catching Jabinho here. This is for second in class. So quite a significant position to take if he can get there. Oh, as we catch Jabinho drifting around Variante Alta. Rodriguez just sort of following nobody around. Sharp has re-engaged with Gedman.
As you just see Gedman get a big snap at the second Ravazza, which has invited Sharp a long past. Is he going to get the move done under straight, or is the Bentley barge going to push him out? Both give him respectable room there. Don't think Sharp's going to quite have the speed.
As he's just not doing well getting out from underneath the rear wing of Gedman. Whenever he thinks he can get a cutback or an alternate line, he just seems to be running into the back of Gedman. It obviously takes a little while to move the barge off the apex. We've got Serpentine and Kalugin side by side into Tozer. Serpentine around the outside. Man who's been slowly catching Jabinho. Now under huge pressure from Kalugin. Kalugin deep on the brakes, looking for an outside line. Has to get out of the power before he goes into Aqua Minerale. And further back, Gedman having to do a harsh defence on Sharp. They're both driving impeccably, but Sharp does seem to navigate Varian Delta that much better. I'd strongly recommend a move into Ravazza 1. It's where he's been doing so well getting alongside him. Then we see Gedman defending kind of thin air there. There's a bit of a shake of his wheel in between the Ravazzas.
Sorry, buddy. We've got Kalugin trying to make a move on Serpentine. Jabino just in front, but Kalugin's get a great toe down the straight from 2 cars. He's going to get fenced out or boxed out into turn 2. Need 3 wide. They're going to go.
Oh, as Kalugin hits both. Kalugin taps the back of Jabino. I mean, if you were going to pick any one of the 3 drivers there,
Eden's gone off as well.
How did Eden go off? As Brown goes through on Gedman goes through on Serpentine. Serpentine really struggling. He's going to get taken by Sharp here as well. If Sharp can get a run around the outside, doesn't get it done. Gets out on the marbles. Yeah, I think if you're going to consider anybody responsible for that incident, it was Kalugin. So it's kind of well that it was Kalugin that took the biggest deficit. Kravek not able to run around in a bit of clean air before he comes across Felameno. Yeah, Leica is completely checked out now. Nearly 7 seconds is the gap. Aston Martin's proven very strong around this track.
So De Moya is slightly reeling Mornix back in. He did have a bit of a moment in one of the chicanes, so he dropped over a second, but he's now just back under a second again. Got Sergeant Rodriguez as well, closing in.
So obviously we have just seen a succession of hard-fought battles, won and lost. So new battles are emerging in the final quarter of this race. Yeah, De Moya. He's been on the back of Mornix for a while. He's had a few attempts at re-engaging.
Oh, what's this? Richings has gone straight across the gravel there. I think he misses braking there. But does seem to hold the position, but you'd think he's going to let the drivers back past there.
Very sporting. Very demure. Very mindful. Oh, as I just seen... that was Sharp being overtaken by Coppins through the Villeneuve chicane. We've not seen hardly any moves through there this evening. Sharp tries to get back at him. Coppins takes a very tight exit around Tozer. Might invite Sharp around the outside of Puritella. But Sharp goes deep.
Coppins gone very deep. Coppins there invites a Ferrari in.
And through goes Sharp. But we've got Gedman. Super tight with Sharp still. This battle's gone on all evening long. We're down the straight again. The Sharp pulls out the slipstream and just watches his speedometer drop a few miles an hour. Moya's still not happy on the back of Mornix. Can't get it down to about half a second. As we go back to Sharp. Sharp looks like he had a go into the Villeneuve chicane. Not sure if it's patience or boldness that he needs here, but he needs to pick one of the two and just try and pressure Gedman in one way or another. Oh, as I go on to Richings, who's overtaking Townsend into Tozer. Then gets a bit of a snap on the exit. Will this invite Townsend back through? Townsend has found the inside line going into Piratella. I suspect he's going to take this back, but Richings does well on his brakes. Does keep it on track. Great defence.
Oh, just right behind that, we've got Coppins.
Coppins in the wall.
Drifting into the wall. Ah, that's unfortunate for him.
Now into the Ravatsas. Sharp's there again. Klugen in tow. I think at this point, Sharp, when he's coming out of these corners and he's getting off the throttle, Chase Gedman, he may want to just consider just planting it. Gedman will move eventually. He's just got no match that Bentley down the straight. But in the corners, just like there in Tamburello, he's all over the back of him, and that's what's been the saving grace for Sharp here, is saying and re-engage in this battle.
Well, I think Gedman's just channeling his inner Gandalf here.
Sharp needs to call on the Eagles.
Does. Oh, Gedman getting very deep, inviting Sharp. I think just fends him off.
He does straighten it up though and gets the power back down. But Kalugin was unhindered by either of those two lines to the corner. Oh, so Gedman got another big snap. Just about manages to drift over to the right to cut Sharp off. But no, Gedman seemingly suffering now, either with tyres or maybe a bit of concentration. But Sharp should smell blood here. Yeah, just like Gedman just starting to lose the rear on the exit of some of the corners. So if Sharp sacrifices his entry and sets up a good exit, good on the power there. Now he just needs to put his foot down and go. How much better was that from Sharp? This is his opportunity. He's got slipstream. He's right underneath Gedman. He's not going to get a better chance, or at least he's not had a better chance all race long. Gedman squeezes him. Eventually gives him the space. Sharp's going to have the inside. He opens the track up. Oh, he just hasn't made it.
I thought he might have been listening there to you, buddy, because he was doing exactly what you were saying, word for word. Maybe had a cheeky headphone in for the stream or watching it in the background.
Oh, as he gets deep there.
Kalugin. And Eden's gone off once again.
Oh, that's a big hit. That's a massive hit. Backwards out of Villeneuve chicane. He must be listening to me. Sharp must have listened. He's now planting his throttle at every exit. He's not scared of hitting Gedman anymore. He's just driving away. Look how much closer he's getting. He's right there. The switchback's available. He's going to be there now. That's not to say he's not at risk from those behind. He's got Kalugin and Colpitts both closing in.
So 9.1 seconds is the gap
there we go.
bottom.
We've got Gedman has had another snap out of Variante Alta, but now he's put Sharp on the outside for the Ravazza. But can the Bentley barge manage it through here? Oh, is he?
Squeeze him. Kalugin's gonna lick his lips at this.
Oh,
once again.
Oh, all the hard work that Sharp put in. Should have been given space by both drivers, in my opinion, but we'll leave that to the stewards. And further up, we've got Kravek. Much closer on Felameno now. This is a battle that's been brewing for quite a while. As both drivers testing the track limits around Puritella. Both drivers so clean. To Aquaminerale. With Kravik only just drifting a little bit on the exit. Oh, as ahead of them, that was De Moya going very deep on the exit of Variant Delta.
Yeah, I think since Demore has had his spin, I think he seems to be struggling a little bit. He's just dropped 2 seconds nearly, or just over to Molnix now.
So, don't think Kravek's going to get Filomeno on this straight. No, De Moya's not too far away. There's very even Stevens down here. Now Serpentine is really on the back of Jabino now. This has been brewing. The P14, second in class. Down the pit straight. Further down, we've got Van der Waal on the back of J Sharp.
And so Kravek has closed massively to Filomeno now for P6.
Yeah. Unlike most of the
16 seconds is the gap from Leica to Bonham. Leica has fully checked out now.
What a drive.
So fastest lap is a 1:41.2.
Oh, as Kravek makes a big mistake to Variante Alta. Has lost so much time. He was down to a quarter of a second away from Filomeno, and he's thrown all of that away. He's going to be close to a second behind him as he crosses the line. But Clayton has not given up a pursuit on Bonham here. And we might well get chase the line here from those vowing for the final podium spots. We'll keep an eye on
this
Leica,
might just be damage limitation from Clayton there if he is going to get a penalty from De Moya. That'll be interesting to see there, but so just a couple of drivers. I think we've got Serpentine still hanging on to Jabino for P2 in class. Was a yellow flag there, 333, I think that's Kalugin. Is indeed. Colpitts, I think, gets past. Well, sorry, quite a few drivers making a few places on Kalugin there.
Kalugin really been in the wars this evening. That Bonham is really starting to struggle in these final few corners. We will make sure to pick up the leader, who just happens to be coming round the final row of Atzers now, as he comes home to take. Oh, as we have a drive-through for De Moya. Oh, it's 2 races in a row. But Leica does win Super Sprint Sunday, race 2. Fantastic double win there. Now Bonham will see off Clayton for P2. Molnix in a class of his own in his tier. P4 on the road for him. De Moya does enter the pits. Filomeno across the line, leading Kravek. Rodriguez. Do you have any battles to the line? Yes, we do. We've got Gedman, who's closed right in on Serpentine, and he's got Colpitts right behind him. So Colpitts got a great opportunity to nick a position here. Shows his nose, Lex for the line.
Serpentine's gone off there.
So it's Brown, and he's going to get taken by. Oh, there's a tap there, and Sharp's going to come in, and Sharp taps him as well.
Talk about Zombieland, double tap there.
Oh, as I reckon there'll be a bit of an inquiry into the final few corners there. And then Heymans leads Richings, with Kalugin chasing down Richings towards the line. Nothing doing there. No, J Sharp with Kalugin following up. And there you have it, everybody. There are your winners and spinners for tonight's race 2. De Moya, after all of his hard work, finishing in P18. A few drivers finishing several laps down there, with Delhi having another unfortunately disastrous race through track limits and crashes. Yeah, so they have it. So we've got Leica winning the Pro Tier, Mornix winning the Silver Tier, and Rodriguez doing a great job, gapping Gibino in the end by quite a distance. So your podium for Pro is Leica Bonham Clayton. Your podium for Silver is Mornix Sargent Grafe. And your AM podium is Rodriguez, Gibino, and Serfontaine. We'll see, let you look through those. And we are going to attempt to get some drivers of the day down, and then try and invite some of the drivers in for a chat. So Retro, Pro Driver of the Day.
I mean, I don't think you could give it to anyone else but Leica, to be fair. That performance out in front, he didn't really have to worry about anything. 16-second gap at the end there. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. Fantastic performance from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, oh, damn it. Absolutely. And then for Gordon Brown, obviously just joined straight after the driver of the day. We'll be happy to have you. And then in the Silver Tier, part of me wants to give it to Sargent, you know. I mean, what defence he put up. He did a great job. Gedman as well. Gedman had a strong race.
He won't want this included in the stream, but I have found the move from Doran on the replay. If you did want to get that on the stream, buddy, because what a move that was.
I will only let me do the replay per. Are you able to pull it up from the previous race?
I saved race 1 and race 2, so I've got it on my screen if you wanted to jump on my screen quickly, just whilst I had it ready to rock and roll.
Would it share screen?
Let me get that up, because that would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
So we're going to try and show an audacious dive. Oh, it's paused it. It's paused the stream. But we will absolutely get that submitted. Personally, I'd want to give that to, as everybody starts to leave. It's not letting me look at it. But I would say, who did I say? We will look through the standings afterwards and we will send some in. But I believe Mr. Brown wanted to come and join us in the chat, so we'll wait for him to come join, and then we'll get a bit of a race breakdown from one of the drivers that you were watching this evening. But no, thank you everybody who turned up to the race this evening. It was an absolutely packed grid, very exciting race, lots of fantastic battles. As here he is.
Hello.
Didn't you have an exciting race?
Sir. I did not. I had a very, very boring race. I went off all on my own twice, through no pressure of anyone else, and then put myself about 5 seconds behind the car in front and 5 seconds ahead of the car behind. Very lonely. Race 1 was fun though. Race 1 was very fun.
It was obviously in the dark as well. We weren't anticipating the dark conditions. I imagine. Did you manage to adjust your tyres accordingly to make that survivable?
They were drivable, is the way I would describe them. A little bit on the low side.
Speaking of drivable, I mean, Gedman's probably not going to want this clip submitted. I mean, a great move from Doran I saw on race 1. I wasn't streaming my point of view, unfortunately, but I'll definitely get it submitted into Discord. Because what a move it was on Gedman there.
I think any move you have on Gedman, please just submit it. Like everywhere, post it everywhere you
I mean,
can.
do you want exclusive info? I mean, I've got my share screen on. Obviously, unfortunately, we can't show it into the stream. But if you quickly jump on my share screen, I'll show you it. You'll get exclusive access to what a move this was from Doran.
Oh, I do like exclusive access. Okay, right, I'll try and. Am I allowed to talk through this? Like,
I mean, yeah, feel free to talk through it, buddy. I'll give you a quick rundown. I mean, speaking of devil, his ears must be burning. But what a move this was, coming out the chicane. So not quite sure what happened. You've got the Doran Porsche just behind.
Chicane.
Down to the double left.
No. Oh.
What a move that was.
I mean, fair play, Chris, for seeing it coming, because you could easily have turned in there and it could have been an absolute disaster.
So
but
go back and show me. Sorry,
it's
apologies.
a nice move.
Unfortunately, this can't be shown on the screen due to share screen or whatever, but obviously this will be available to the community members for all to admire and point at Gedman and go.
So he dive bombed and I'd moved at the road to let him in, is that right?
That he looks like he's got you sleeping.
No, it's just about to turn in and he's dived right down. So
Yeah.
if you think he's
gonna
made the corner, so you've got to put your hands up. He's been gumptious enough, and he's obviously known that I was going to foresee him coming in there. So
Yeah, fair play, man. That's
three
good.
car
I mean,
lengths, and then I've seen
I think-
my steering wheel pulling out.
you know what this is? This is actually, I definitely submit this because this is a great example of the limit of what is deemed acceptable and not overly aggressive overtaking.
I would never
also-
ticket that because that's good racing. That's using.
Yeah,
that's gumption.
It's also very good defensive driving. Like you've seen him come in and not turned in and still being able to control the car.
Aye.
It's very
I mean,
good all
speaking
round.
of controlling the car, though, buddy, you kept sharp right under your rear wing for majority of that second race. How do you feel about that?
So I know he's faster than me, but I'm not going to make any race for any driver irrespective of class, especially in a race and a championship where everyone's fighting for position and fighting for class position. So he wasn't that faster than me. My Bentley was getting the better exit. I was getting faster pace on longer straights. He was just better in the corners, so I used it to my advantage, and I think I kept him at bay for about 17 laps. He must have been...
Because I think he must have been listening to the stream, because obviously Lord
just got
Waffle
up
over there
and walked over and kicked the dog.
He must have been saying some certain words on the stream, and as he was saying it, Sharp was then doing exactly what he was saying. He was getting right up in your grill.
Yeah.
Sorry, rear bumper there, but say it was just fantastic to watch.
He nearly got me about 3 laps ago, but I used every inch of the exit corner on turn 2 and 3 to secure my place on track, and he pulled out, which was very, very good. I mean, it's good to race against. I really like racing against him.
Yeah, so what we noticed on the stream and what I was saying predominantly was that he seemed to be cautious on touching the power when he was right underneath your wing. And I was like, trust me, Sharp, he'll move. He'll definitely move. Just put your foot down and trust that Gedman will eventually drive his barge away. Because he seemed to not get on the throttle early enough to really challenge you. And about 3 laps before he had his incident, he started doing it. I think he must be listening.
He's maybe got the stream on in the background.
But no, that's where it really started to come to a head between you two. But obviously, it wasn't just Sharp you were engaged with. You ended up in quite a train at one point.
Yeah, I had quite a train behind me, but the reason that I don't just yield out the roads is because I know my track capabilities, my consistency, and I know I'm not fast, but you need to be faster than me to get past me, or I'm not going to make it easy for you. That's it. So everyone now, they know that about me, and they'll know that after tonight, that I'm not going to make it easy for anybody. But I'm not the fastest guy in the track. I think I did 43.2 tonight in my fastest time or something, which is nothing. Absolutely way off the pace of the pro guys who were doing 40s and 41s, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like in the second race, definitely was just think it took him maybe 10 laps of just pacing Bonham, but after that he pulled out a gap, which was something to behold. I think it was 17 seconds by the checkered. It wasn't like
Well-
it was about a second and a half in race one, but then after his tyres came in race two, he was off with the fairies, just completely.
Like uncatchable and
Just
raceable.
I mean, this is Bonham who's been leading the championship in Mola's absence, been doing a great dominant job in himself, and he's been gapped by 17 seconds.
Yeah,
which- which-
There's this kind of level of driver that it's just you get your pro drivers and then you get your elite pro drivers.
Yeah.
Like, they're just another level, and I feel for them because they must find this so boring at times.
Well, he did
'Cause
drop
we're
a
so
message
far
in the
ahead.
chat just now, which said thank you, we enjoyed it very much.
Good,
So
I'm glad
it
you
can't
enjoyed it, 'cause-
it can't be that boring for
Right,
him.
let's get him in a ticket and actually castrate him, because that's him just antagonising us.
No.
I'm telling you that right now.
What we need to do is get him, get Moeller, get Vermeulen back in, get Will back, get them all on the track at the same time, because it'd just be absolutely epic to have that
Yes.
many drivers at that level all
Oh,
at the
yeah.
same time on the same track. But they seem to arrive one every season and then disappear. Like Moeller last season just
It
walked
sounds
away
like
with
the egos
championship.
can't quite take it.
That's what it is.
My ego. I don't-
No.
I like being last in pro.
Is there
There's
something
hope for
wrong
me
with your
yet
ego?
then.
Something wrong with your ego?
I don't need to compensate for my ego.
But there was some fantastic racing that, especially the midpoint, where we had about a 6-car battle in the midfield that I didn't think I took a breath for about a minute and a half. And especially with the helicopter cam, not switching cameras, actually managing to stay on things. Yeah, it was some fantastic racing. It just seemed to move back to a battle, like one person make a move and then that person would get affected and then get overtaken, and then the next person would get pushed back and the next person then get overtaken. So yeah, it was some really great action tonight. Imola really makes for a good spectacle because it really ramps up the battles, really puts people together, especially little trains like behind yourself, Chris, and yeah, then other battles emerge behind that. So yeah, really enjoyed Imola this evening.
Good. Thanks,
Good.
gents.
I'm
Listen,
glad.
we'll let you tie off the stream, but like I always do on a Sunday night, I go and kind of watch it and kind of have a wee look and see how things go. And so I'm looking forward to that one tonight. I want to see how fast the guys were up front physically. They took off. Nobody could catch them. Well, I wasn't catching them. I ran for the back tonight in both races. So
I mean, I'll save you a bit of watching this evening in the sense of we didn't really touch the top guys much because they were very much just set in pace. But there was a battle for P3 on the road between Clayton and De Moya, which went on and on and on and on, with De Moya in a very shut up defence in. But when it finally came to a head, Clayton, I think, just didn't quite make the corner and sent De Moya off. So we'll wait to see if that one touches the steward's room to see if Clayton gets to keep that position, if anybody was particularly close to him.
excellent. Well, amazing, guys. Thanks very much for everything, as always.
No problem, and we'll obviously see
Yeah, thanks,
you
Ian,
on
guys.
track and in the Discord throughout the week.
Yes.
Looking forward to watch it back. Take care. Have a good night.
Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Right. So there you have it, everybody. That is your Super Sprint Sunday signing off by your commentators and your admins for the league. As mentioned before, if you'd like to get involved in any way, shape or form, like, share, subscribe, put a comment in, get yourself joined to the Discord, sign up on SimGrid, whether it be ACC, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Formula 1, WRC. If it's got 4 wheels and you can race it online, FRL has you covered. And then if you're already embedded with us and still watching onto the stream, which means you're super committed, make sure to join onto the Patreon. Starting at just £3 a month, you can reserve special spaces in the upcoming events, special events, your own practice server. You can reserve your driver number ahead of everybody else, amongst other things you can do, especially if you move up the Patreon ladder. So yeah, we'd love to see you involved in any way possible. And obviously, if nothing else, make sure you tune in next week. Good night from myself.
And a very good night from me, guys. So next week, 8 o'clock, Sprint Sunday. Be there or be square. Don't miss it.
Right. Bye, everyone.